Hi everyone, welcome back to Sacred Season Healing. I'm so grateful you're here. Today's reading is our spiritual guidance and life path message, okay? It's a reading that's intended to bring clarity, encouragement, and divine guidance for wherever you are on your spiritual journey right now, okay? As always, remember this is a collective reading, so take what resonates with your heart and leave the rest. Trust your own intuition above all else. Spirit has a unique message for each of us today. I just know it, okay? If this reading brings you clarity, encouragement, or confirmation today, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who may need to hear this message as well. It truly does help support this community and help it continue to grow. Okay, so now let's take a deep breath together, ground ourselves into this present moment, and we'll ask Spirit, what guidance does the collective most need to receive today regarding their spiritual path, Spirit? Please show us clearly what guidance does the collective most need to receive today regarding their spiritual path. Well, that one wanted to flip over, but it flipped back, so we'll leave it in there. We got the Tower. Okay. What spiritual lesson or theme? What spiritual lesson or theme? Okay, the Emperor and the Ace of Swords. Anything else, Spirit? Okay, anything else? What spiritual lesson or theme are you asking the collective to focus on right now? Anything else? Okay, the Death card in reverse. And the Two of Wands. Okay, what energy, belief, or pattern is currently blocking or slowing the collective spiritual growth, Spirit? What energy, belief, or pattern is currently blocking or slowing the collective spiritual growth? Please show us clearly. Thank you. The Five of Cups. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Swords and the Five of Swords. Anything else, Spirit? The Two of Swords. Anything else? Okay, I'm just going to move these down a little bit here. And we'll ask one more question, and then we'll take a look at what the first half of the message is for us today. Okay, Spirit, what guidance, gift, or support are you offering to help the collective move forward on their path? What guidance, gift, or support are you offering to the collective to help move them forward on their path, Spirit? Please show us clearly. The Nine of Swords. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these messages now. Okay, so for the first question, we asked, what spiritual lesson or theme is Spirit asking the collective to focus on right now? We got the Tower, the Emperor, the Ace of Swords, the Death card in reverse, and the Two of Wands. So with the Tower says that many people in the collective are either experiencing or are about to experience a significant shift, okay? Something that was built on unstable foundations can no longer continue in the same way. So Spirit is clearing away what no longer aligns with you, with us, okay? Then comes the Emperor. And the Emperor, well, rather than viewing those changes that are coming or are happening right now for you, rather than viewing those changes as something happening to you, I think Spirit is saying or asking you to step into your own authority here, you know, like take your power back. This is about becoming the leader of your own life again, instead of allowing those circumstances, other people, or even just fear to dictate your path, okay? And then the Ace of Swords brings clarity, truth, and breakthroughs. So you may suddenly understand why something had to end or why a certain path was never truly aligned with your highest good. The interesting card here is the Death card that turned, flipped and reversed itself on us. That suggests that the lesson isn't just about transformation, it's about your resistance to transformation, okay? There may be a part of you that is still trying to hold on to an old identity or relationship. It could be a career, a belief, or some comfort zone, okay? Because you may be holding on to that because it feels familiar, okay? And then finally, the Two of Wands reminds us that once we accept the truth and release what no longer serves us, a whole new path begins to open. Spirit is asking the collective to stop looking backward and start intentionally choosing the future they're being called toward. Okay? So I think the overall message that's the spiritual lesson, I would say, right now is learning to trust change, release resistance, embrace truth, and reclaim your power, and consciously step into the next chapter of your life. Okay, then we asked Spirit what energy, belief, or pattern is currently blocking or slowing the collective spiritual growth. And we got the Five of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Two of Swords. This feels much more internal, like internal. We're struggling internally inside ourselves. Like with the Five of Cups, it's suggesting that many people are still grieving something that has already ended, whether it's a relationship, a dream, an opportunity, or a version of yourself, There's still emotional energy invested in looking at what was lost instead of what remains possible. And then the Queen of Swords, it shows that many have gained wisdom through difficult experiences, but that wisdom may have become emotional armor, There can be a tendency to protect the heart so well that it's difficult to remain open to new experiences or divine guidance, okay? You might want to reflect on that a little later after the video. The Five of Swords, it points to lingering conflict. This could be unresolved arguments, the need to be right, self-criticism. It could be resentment or replaying old situations in your mind. Sometimes the greatest battle isn't with another person, it's within ourselves, And then the Two of Swords, that reveals the core blockage. It's indecision, right? Spirit cannot fully guide someone who refuses to choose a direction. So when we choose to remain between the old life and the new life, that keeps us spiritually stuck. okay? So I think the blockage isn't a lack of guidance, it's holding on to disappointment, staying mentally trapped in past conflicts, and protecting the heart too tightly, and just delaying decisions that Spirit has already been preparing you to make, okay? Then we asked, what guidance, gift, or support is Spirit offering to help the collective move forward? And at first, this seems, the Nine of Swords, it seems like an odd gift, right? Like, why are you giving me a gift of anxiety and stress and sleepless nights, right? But I actually think it's more meaningful than that. What I think Spirit's trying to say is, well, let's talk about what it isn't. I don't think Spirit is giving the collective anxiety, okay, like I just joked. It's more Spirit shining a light on the thoughts that are creating anxiety, because the swords are all about your thoughts, okay? So sometimes our greatest spiritual breakthrough comes when we finally recognize that many of our fears are stories we've been telling ourselves, not necessarily truths, okay? So Spirit's guidance is to stop believing every fearful thought that enters your mind, okay? The worries that keep you awake, the what ifs, the catastrophizing, I can't say it now, catastrophizing, the guilt, the regrets, all of that stuff, you know, these are being brought into your awareness so they can be healed instead of unconsciously controlling your life, okay? Okay, so I think the gift is hidden inside the Nine of Swords, awareness. So once you become conscious of your fear-based thinking, you can begin replacing it with truth, faith, trust, and inner peace, okay? So, I think overall, Spirit's inviting the collective to examine the stories they've been telling themselves. Are those thoughts truly coming from your intuition, or are they coming from fear? Your intuition brings clarity and peace. Fear creates confusion, sleepless nights, things like that, you know? And I think today Spirit is asking us all to surrender our worries, trust the transformation that's unfolding, and remember that you don't have to carry every burden alone, okay? Okay, so let's move into now some journal prompts. I'd like to give you some questions that you can reflect on after this reading. So I'll start with the first one, okay? What major change or transformation am I currently resisting, and why? What truth has Spirit been trying to show me that I've been hesitant to fully accept? Am I making decisions from faith and intuition, or from fear and uncertainty? What old disappointment, conflict, or belief am I ready to release so I can move forward? If I trusted that Spirit was guiding every step of my journey, what choice would I make today? Okay, so just take a moment to reflect on these messages that have come through so far. Sometimes Spirit's guidance isn't meant to be understood all at once. So, you know, it unfolds as we sit with it, reflect on it, you know, begin applying it even to our lives. So, yeah, if you'd like to reflect on those journal prompts later on, I think that might help you, okay? All right, and if these messages are resonating with you, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. And to support this channel, if you wouldn't mind liking the video, subscribing, and sharing this reading with someone who may need it, okay? May need to hear this guidance today. Okay, let's go into some more questions. The next question I'd like to ask Spirit is, what truth, perspective, or spiritual shift is Spirit inviting the collective to embrace at this time? What truth, perspective, or spiritual shift is Spirit inviting the collective to embrace at this time? Please show us clearly. Thank you. Put those back. Okay, let's try this again. What truth, perspective, or spiritual shift, Spirit, are you inviting the collective to embrace at this time? Please show us clearly. Thank you. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay? Is there anything else? The Page of Swords, the Ten of Wands. We'll see what that is in a moment. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Coughing in your ear. Page of Swords, Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, and Eight of Swords. Lots of swords. Okay, lots of mental processing going on here. Okay, what is the most important message Spirit wants the collective to remember? The Wheel of Fortune. As they continue walking their spiritual path, what is the most important message Spirit wants the collective to remember as they continue walking their spiritual path? Is there anything else, Spirit, besides the Wheel of Fortune? The Knight of Cups. The Strength card. Okay, just making sure there isn't two stuck together. Okay, good. And then next I'd like to ask Spirit what blessing, opportunity, or transformation is likely to unfold as the collective continues trusting their spiritual journey and following divine guidance. What blessing, opportunity, or transformation is likely to unfold, Spirit? Okay, we have the Hanged Man. We have the Six of Cups. And we have the Six of Swords. Is there anything else? What blessing, opportunity, or transformation? Oh, I'm sorry. I left the Temperance and Temperance. Okay. Blessing, opportunity, or transformation, Spirit. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these messages. Okay, so we asked what truth, perspective, or spiritual shift is Spirit inviting the collective to embrace at this time? And we got the Six of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, so this feels like different layers of guidance that's coming together, okay? So we'll start with the Six of Pentacles. It begins, or wants us to begin, I think Spirit wants us to begin by reminding us that life is meant to be balanced. Spirit is inviting the collective, I think, to receive as much as they give, okay? Many people have spent so much time overextending themselves, pouring into others, or trying to carry everything alone, that they've forgotten it's okay to accept help, support, love, and abundance. Okay? Then we have the Queen of Pentacles, and this encourages us as a collective to nurture ourselves with the same care that we've given everyone else. It says, create stability and prioritize your well-being, and trust that taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Okay? And then we have the Four of Pentacles, okay? Which feels less about finances and more about what we're gripping so tightly to, right? Whether it's an old story, an old relationship, fear, control, or the need for certainty. I think Spirit's asking us, what are you holding on to that is actually keeping you stuck? Okay? And the Page of Swords invites curiosity and a fresh perspective. So rather than assuming you already know how everything will unfold, stay open, observe, learn, and allow Spirit to reveal new information. The Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords together, I think they're a powerful confirmation, basically, that a difficult season is done. It's ended, because tens are all about endings. So, I mean, it looks kind of daunting to see these, but if you think about the meaning, excuse me, the meaning is that it's over with. So that's actually uplifting, you know, and encouraging. I think Spirit's saying you don't have to continue carrying these burdens anymore, because they were never yours to carry forever, okay? The cycle of exhaustion, that's what the Ten of Wands is, right? It's like the cycle of exhaustion and disappointment and painful endings, it's done. It reached a completion, okay? And then finally, we have the Eight of Swords, and that reminds us that after those endings, the greatest prison may be the one we create in our own minds. The final shift is recognizing that many of the limitations we feel today are no longer external. They're beliefs that we can release. We're keeping ourselves here. We can release this now. We don't have to carry this anymore. It's over. And I know that that's so much easier for someone to say than to do it. I'm living this right now, to be honest with you. This is not easy for me to let go of. It really is not. I've struggled for a long time with this. I'm getting better, but I'm still here. One thing I find that helps me is doing these readings, okay? It pulls me out of a funk, you know, that meh feeling, you know, the racing thoughts that I can't stop sometimes. Some of the what do I want to say, the healing tools that I give at the end of these videos, I go back myself and listen to them again, and I'll go to YouTube and put on one of the sound frequencies and just meditate. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of listen to that, and I'll journal with some of the journal prompts or whatever, and that does help me. It really truly does. It's just that, you know, just be patient with yourself, I guess is what I'm saying. We're all kind of been here. You may be experiencing this still. You may have been able to release this. But either way, you know, just be kind to yourself, okay? All right, so I think the overall message Spirit is asking the collective to loosen your grip on the past. Care for yourself with compassion. Release unnecessary burdens. And recognize that this difficult chapter, it's ending, okay? The freedom you're seeking begins with changing the way you see yourself in your future. It really does. So, we ask then, what is the most important message Spirit wants the collective to remember as they continue walking their spiritual path? And we got the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Cups, and the Strength card, okay? So, the Wheel of Fortune reminds us that nothing stays the same forever, right? There's one constant thing in this world, in this lifetime, is change. Seasons change, challenges pass, doors close so new ones can open, all that kind of stuff. Even when life feels uncertain, Spirit is always moving things behind the scenes, and things are changing. And then the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups encourages the collective to continue following what genuinely speaks to the heart. Allow yourself to dream again. Stay emotionally open to divine opportunities and meaningful connections, okay? Or even creative inspiration and the calling that Spirit is placing on your heart, you know. Listen to your intuition. And then the Strength card closes this whole thing up, I think, because it's reminding us that true spiritual strength isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about meeting life's challenges with patience, courage, compassion, and faith. Your quiet resilience is one of your greatest spiritual gifts. Okay? So, trust divine timing, keep your heart open, continue moving forward with courage, even when you can't yet see the entire path. Spirit is guiding you exactly where you're meant to be. Okay? And the last question we asked was, what blessing, opportunity, or transformation is likely to unfold as the collective continues trusting their spiritual journey and following divine guidance? And we got the Hanged Man. Okay. The Six of Cups, the Six of Swords, and Temperance. So I think this looks very peaceful. The Hanged Man suggests a profound shift in perspective, okay? So as the collective surrenders control and trusts the divine timing, okay, they'll begin seeing their life and even past experiences from a completely different point of view. And then the Six of Cups brings emotional healing. So for some, this may represent healing childhood wounds or making peace with the past. And then for others, it could bring meaningful soul connections or relationships that feel familiar, comforting, right? Or even aligned with you. The emphasis is on emotional restoration rather than repeating old patterns, though, you know. And then the Six of Swords, that shows that Spirit is gently guiding the collective away from confusion, away from struggle, and away from emotional heaviness toward greater peace, you know, moving from rough waters to calm waters, right? Is how you often hear people read that card. So it doesn't mean the journey is, you know, like instant, right? It just means that you're moving in the right direction, so to speak, okay? And then we have Temperance. And I think as the last card and the outcome of the entire reading, it's beautiful because it's all about balance and harmony, healing, patience, and alignment with divine timing. It's learning to flow with life instead of fighting against it, okay? So as you do, just go with the flow, you'll experience greater inner peace and a deeper sense of trust in your spiritual journey. Okay, so the blessing waiting for the collective is profound healing. That's what it is. And it comes through surrender, a new perspective, emotional restoration, and trust in divine timing. And then just leave behind the heaviness of the past and step into a season of greater peace, balance, and spiritual alignment. Okay? And, you know, if you look at or think about all of what the messages were today, it's an arc, right? It begins with upheaval and resistance with the Tower and the Death reversed and all of that, the Five of Cups, okay? But it ends with surrender and healing, forward movement, and balance, okay? So it's a reminder that even when transformation feels uncomfortable and, you know, kind of scary even at times, you know. Spirit is leading you toward a calmer, more aligned chapter. Just trust that, okay? Okay, so before we close today's reading, let's take a moment to ground these messages into our daily lives. Tarot often offers us insight, but true transformation comes from the small intentional choices we make each day. Okay, so some healing tools that may support you are affirmations. I'm going to give you some affirmations, some essential oils, some crystals, okay, things like that. We'll start with the affirmations. I trust the divine timing of my life. I release fear and embrace transformation with courage. I am guided, protected, and supported every step of my journey. I choose faith over fear. I release what no longer serves my highest good. I welcome new perspectives with an open heart and mind. I trust that every ending is creating space for a beautiful new beginning. Okay, and then if you'd like to have some journal prompts that you can reflect on later this week or even after you watch the video, where is Spirit asking me to surrender control? What am I finally ready to release? How can I strengthen my trust in my intuition and divine guidance each day? Okay. Some crystals you may enjoy working with are amethyst. It's for spiritual connection, intuition, and inner peace. Labradorite for transformation, spiritual awakening, and trusting your path. Clear quartz. This is to amplify clarity, intention, and spiritual insight. Lapidolite to calm anxiety and release fearful thoughts. And moonstone, and this is to encourage trust in life's natural cycles and divine timing. Some essential oils you could try out in a diffuser are frankincense, lavender, sandalwood, clary sage, and cedarwood. Okay, all of those support meditation, grounding, and a deeper sense of peace. Some sound healing would be 963 hertz. It's connection to higher consciousness and divine wisdom. 741 hertz, that's for releasing fear, limiting beliefs, and emotional blockages. 528 hertz is for transformation, healing, and opening the heart to positive change. Okay, so I would suggest 10 to 20 minutes of listening while you're meditating, journaling, or just simply sitting quietly. Okay. Some people like to listen to that before they journal. Okay. So, body movements to help integrate today's energy. You might want to do like a mindful walk in nature, gentle yoga with slow intentional breathing, stretching while focusing on releasing tension from the shoulders and the jaw. And 10 to 15 minute meditation focusing on surrendering, trusting, and just receiving the guidance that Spirit's trying to give you. Okay? So thank you so much for spending this time with me today here at Sacred Season Healing. I hope this reading brought you clarity, some encouragement, and reassurance that even during seasons of uncertainty or transformation, Spirit is always working on our behalf. Okay? Every challenge carries the potential for growth. Every ending creates space for a new beginning, and every step you take in faith brings you closer to the life that's meant for you. If this reading resonated with you, I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share it with someone who may need this message today. Your support helps this community grow and allows these messages to reach those who are searching for guidance and hope. Okay? Thank you for allowing me to be part of your spiritual journey. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, continue trusting your intuition, be gentle with yourself, and remember that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. Take care, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next reading. Sending you love, light, and many blessings. Bye.